Do you really believe when you took the shahada, he forgave you for all your sins? Are you stupid enough to believe that? Oh, yeah, I am.
All right. Well, assalamu alaikum, Brother Anthony. Thank you for coming here and joining the New Muslim Circle.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Tell me a little bit about yourself, who you are.
Well, Anthony Grigsby. I was born and raised in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Lived most of my life so far there. Worked for an industrial coating supplier company called PPG, and they transferred me from California and then from California here.
So when was the first time that you were introduced to Islam? I know that you said you
probably it started to come up in conversation about, let me see, so March, probably close to 3 years.
Okay.
It's not like I didn't know,
right?
But I didn't know.
Right.
Like, you
didn't have like close family.
I didn't have, no, I had no family.
Yeah.
There were people who I knew had converted to Islam, but it was more of I went, and this is serious, they went to prison and they converted because it was safer to be with a Muslim gang than be by yourself.
Oh, wow.
And then when they got out, it wasn't like they were really serious about it.
Yeah.
But I wasn't raised, and of course, like I said, I was from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Right.
You were either black, white, you were Jew, you couldn't throw a rock without hitting a mosque, hitting a synagogue,
yeah.
But there were no Muslims unless you went to the colleges.
Yeah.
I got exposed to it to somewhat when I went to California, and then in my business, I talked to a lot of engineers, and a lot of young engineers, female especially, are Muslim.
I see.
They don't run around like carrying it on their sleeve, but
Right.
and they talk. You can some wear a job, so.
I see.
Okay.
So what I know you said that you went to the class and that's when you decided, but was there
I had already
something-
decided.
You had already decided.
I had made up my mind before I went.
When you started watching Mufti Mink and his lectures?
I started, and then other little things came up, and then she would talk about her son, and like I said, I've never met this kid.
Yeah.
But he's amazing.
Yeah.
And his mother was in a bad place. He pulled her out of that. She's converted.
Oh, wow.
His brother's converted.
Wow.
And he's, if you say, like a true believer, and he lives his life. One of his
an example for you.
He was an example, and it's
that.
funny because I've never met the guy,
Right.
but yet he's an example for me.
Right.
His mentor was a guy from Mauritania, Sheikh Salat, who passed away last year. It just, anyway, that's basic.
Well, what's like the one thing that maybe you struggled with when you became a Muslim and with your friends and your family or your coworkers?
Well, it's not like it's like in life, there are certain people you tell about your personal life and there's certain people you don't.
Right.
So my closest, I've only got a couple you have
your daughter.
Yeah, and I have not been in my daughter's presence since this happened, and this is not something that I wanted to do over the phone. So this Christmas, I'm going to go home. She was born January 3rd through no fault of her own. So when I go back through the holidays, I'm going to sit down with her and her husband and tell them. Okay. But I have told some family members, and there are a few associates that know as well. Yeah. And it's.
Was it a good?
Yeah, I mean, what you find out sometimes in life, that if people love you, they love you.
Yeah.
Regardless.
Right.
And it's not like I'm not joining a gang.
Right.
Right. I'm trying to, and they ask me, well, and I've had some friends I have a cousin who's not particularly religious who kind of gives me some pushback, and I told her this is a decision that I'm very serious about, and the one thing I like about it, it's a requirement. Like, okay, so you can be a Muslim and not pray,
Yes.
why would I convert after being a Christian for whatever and not try to practice it the way it should be practiced, to try to learn Arabic, to do your prayers, to try to be a good person, to not do the things that you used to do with your life.
Right.
I'm living by myself. Word on the street, I'm somewhat of a handsome man. I'm old as dirt, but I'm not trying to sleep around. I'm trying to look at my life and be different moving on.
You're reflecting in.
There you go.
Islam has made you reflect.
Yes, yes. You know, because when I hear a young Muslim, like I hear a father say, yeah, they're okay. He's talking about his sons. He says the one's married, he don't have any children, and this other one needs to get married.
Yes.
And that is where I felt like I've wasted my life.
Oh. Well, what is something that you could give new Muslims advice when coming into Islam? What is the one thing that you think really helped you, and you would give that same advice to? I would do this. If wherever you live, if there is an opportunity as a group to learn about this religion, do it. Yeah. If you don't have any Muslim friends, then join a mosque. When people invite you places, go, because you come to find out, because this religion is about community. Yes.
And it doesn't care. Many cultures. It doesn't matter where you're from in this world. When you're in a place where you are now, I'm a Muslim, you're a Muslim, and you know what they don't do? They don't criticize me. If I don't say it right, or if I don't do it right, they don't make me feel less than.
And so sometimes it's about finding the right Muslim to be around.
Yeah,
too.
right. Well,
humans.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Well, yeah. You get
but,
like I go to Baytown a lot because I live in Humble, so I go to Baytown, and I have a young mentor, Shafan. His grandfather years ago helped found. I think he either, you know what I'm talking about. He was part of the new Muslim community. So he was from Alabama. He came here, and he's from. I think he's from Pakistan, but the bottom line is, I've gone to Baytown. Sometimes I've felt a little odd, but I sometimes when I'm traveling, I'll stop and go to another mosque. If I'm out, last week I came down to the main mosque. I just feel like a community, and I have been involved. There have been some I call them sermons, for Friday, that have touched me deeply.
So find a community, find your group.
Yeah, you got
involved.
Yeah,
right.
And do what is required.
Right.
If you're gonna make the commitment, try to do what's required. And the idea is what you just said is try. Yes. You get credit if that's a word I want to use for just trying. You're never going to be perfect. Right. You're not ever going to be sinless. No. And there's all type of things. If you continue to try and you really, really, really believe that Allah is the one true God, if you really believe that, you're almost there. Yeah.
So to close this session, what is one memorable thing that maybe you can say about the New Muslim Circle and the classes that they provide for new Muslims and the support that they give? Is there anything special, or a day or an event, or maybe a person that really kind of comes to your memory?
Well, so you got the instructors. They're two brothers.
Yeah.
And they're kind of a hoot, if you know what I mean. And we talk about Muslim, about the Islamic community, but we also talk about the world at large, which is very important to me. But I was invited here the first Sunday in October. They have an Indonesian. They get together and have like
potluck.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Being embraced. Yeah. Nobody. It's almost like you show up and they say, "Hey, I'll see you next week." They're asking, "Well, will you want to do this? You want to do that? Hey, why don't you come do this with us? Yeah. We're having this." It's like be involved, embrace, and of course, operate at your comfort level. Yeah. If you feel like it, if something makes your stomach hurt a little bit, maybe try some other place, or maybe ask somebody. Right. Did I misunderstand? Did I you know, help me understand what I'm doing or doing right or doing wrong. You know, you don't learn anything in life without asking questions and paying attention.
What positive changes have you noticed in your life since you've become a Muslim?
Let me see. I'm more concerned about, not that I never wasn't a good person, but there's just some things that I refuse to do. Like, you got to understand, I was born and raised Christian. Yeah. And one of the building blocks of life for me was bacon. Yes. And I thought that was going to be like the hardest thing for me to give up. And you know what? It was quite easy. Oh, good. You know, and that made me feel good. I had kind of stopped drinking alcohol. One of the reasons alcohol played prior to me coming a Muslim and why my marriage fell apart. Yes. And I stopped drinking because of what I was seeing, thinking that would help, and it didn't. So not drinking, it's like now it's more of a commitment. Yes. You know, and I can't talk to myself, and I'm not saying I'm never going to. There's no absolutes in life, but it's not. You know, I'm not going to be goaded into it. I'm not going to be, why are you doing this? Or you can't eat bacon, or why you got to pray every day? It's because that's what's required. So that's the thing, is getting up early in the morning, praying, Fajr. You know, those are the things that I didn't know if I was going to be able to do, but I'm doing it, and it's a joyful thing. It's not like, oh wow, I got to get up and I got to do this, or it's 1:30 and I got to do that. It's like an obligation, and you look forward to it.
Because it's for yourself, right?
For myself. Make me a better person. Yes. I don't know if I've got 10 years or I'm going to get hit by a Turner truck when I leave here. I don't know. Right. But I'm hoping that from this point on, I can lead a righteous life. Yes. You know, not free of sin, because that's impossible, but try to be as good a version as me and understand that whoever I am. And one of the things that when I pray, I say is, in reality, I was born a Muslim. Yeah. I am a Muslim, and I will stay a Muslim. Yes. And that's just how I feel. You know. Yeah. And if I get married again, it's going to be a Muslim woman. You know.
I hope so.
Yeah. You got anybody? Let me know. You know. But I'm just saying, it's just, and again, it's just, I feel like I belong.
Yeah, because you're looking more within yourself, right? And everything you do is now with intentions for God, right?
Yes.
So you think of Allah in everything that you do now, and you're conscious of your own actions and your words and accountability, you know, right? So
in Christianity, you feel like there's always an out. Yeah. You know, well, he died for our sins, so
it's okay.
Well, it doesn't work like that. Yeah. You know, everything you do, you're going to be accountable. Yes. You know, and hopefully you're going to do enough good that will balance out, the rest of it. Yeah, and of course you still, if I do have an issue, it's like, because the devil's always in the back, he's always talking to you, right? And he's whispering, and you say, do you really believe when you took the shahada, he forgave you for all your sins? Are you stupid enough to believe that? Well, yeah, I am.
Well, and I remember, just like from my own experience, I remember a sheikh telling the people that he was talking to, he said, if you commit something, you ask for forgiveness, and you literally feel that relief of like, it's in the past and I'm no longer doing it. Right. That's like Allah's way of showing you He's forgiven you. Right. So move on, do better, right? Try harder. It's okay to take 5 steps forward and then 2 steps back. Right. That's normal in life, because we're humans, like you said.
And to believe, for you to, it's almost like an insult to believe if He says He will forgive you, that He won't forgive you. And He can do anything. Yeah. Right? So take Him at His word.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much.
That's all I got.
Well, I appreciate you coming on here. Thank you so much for giving us your time and answering the questions.
Yes, ma'am. It means a lot that I was asked.
Of course.
You know.
Yeah, that's important to all of us.
Yes, ma'am.